Hey? Yeah. No, I'm home. I don't know. He's probably in the music room. No, I'm just waiting for a couple deliveries. I ordered a couple things. They should be here anytime. Yeah. Okay. Oh, shoot. I think my delivery's here, so let me call you back. Okay. All right. All right. Bye. My package. Andy! Andy!
Uh-oh. All right, so here we are. I have all my boxes stacked up right here in the center of my room. And there's 3 boxes from IK Multimedia, 1 box from Apogee Electronics. And let me pull out my trusty pocket knife and get things going here. Now, I'm going to be just as excited as you are because I haven't opened up these boxes. I haven't looked at anything. And yeah, this is going to be fun. So let's try this out here. This thing is heavy for an interface. Look at that. Check it out. Wow. It is the Symphony Studio Series. It's an 8x16. Not certain what that means. Going to find out, although. So got my knife back. Now very gently unwrap it in the packaging. Throw that over there. Oh my, look at that. This thing is beautiful. Love the purple. So we got an N channels 48 phantom power SL. Not sure what that is. I'm gonna have to read up on this. So you got a headphones, 2 headphone jacks, and on the back we have 8 XLR and then another 2 DB25 pin connectors. That would be for the outs, of course, and then the power supply. So that's the interface. I can't wait to get this hooked up and turned on and see what it can do. All right, so now let's move on to the IK Multimedia monitors, aka speakers, however you want to say it. These are the MTM iLouds, so I'm very curious to see what these look like. Very, very, very excited. This must have the cords for the power, because all these speakers use their own power supply, just to let you know. I do know that much. We have a, looks like a stand comes with these speakers. That's the base, I'm guessing. And then this part is where it actually stands on. So I get to figure all that out later on. Put that over here for right now. And we have a XLR male or female. I'm guessing this must be for the ARC system for the microphone. Again, I will find all this out and let you know in the future videos that I am doing. And here is the microphone itself, along with a USB. Not certain what that's going to be used for, but again, you will find out along with me. Let's check a look at this microphone. That's a little tiny thing. That's very cool. Nice. Oh, it even comes with a clip. Sweet. All right. Oh man, I'm so excited. So excited. And then lastly in this box is the power cord. And that's the accessory box. Oh wait, there's a little screw. Not certain what that's for, but we're all going to find out together. That over there. And now for the speaker. Oh yeah. Oop, didn't mean to do that, but I did. Oh yeah. Look at this. Yeah, it's pretty sweet. We have a power supply. We got the USB. We have the XLR, or you can do a TRS input. We have volume, and then we have different EQ settings. And I'm guessing that's going to be used for when we get the room to be set using the ARC microphone. We'll use these back here to help EQ the room. I do have a pretty well treated studio, believe it or not. So I'm literally looking forward to seeing how everything works out in here. This is the front of the speaker. And I've seen videos where people put them on the sides or stand them up. Then on the bottom, from the videos I've been watching, these will be your where they screw in for the speaker stands. So, yeah, sweet. All right, let me put this bad boy back. Oop, forgot that. Sorry, shove that in there. Put this back on it. And now, see what else we have. And that is 11 speakers in total. Woohoo! In my 10 by 10 room. Man, this is going to be freaking fun. Yep. All right, so I wanted to show you everything that came out of the boxes. So here we go. Excuse my videotaping. So we have all 11 speakers and the interface. So that's it. That's day one, unboxing. Stay tuned for day two, where I'm going to talk about all the accessories that are needed to get this going. Howdy, once again. Right now I want to kind of go over the accessories that are needed in order to get this whole system going. Now, some of this might be different for you, depending on your size of the room and everything. Mine is only a 10 by 10 room, so if you have a 10 by 10 room, you might just match what I bought here. So let's start off. I wrote everything down so I wouldn't forget anything. So the first thing we're going to start off with is right here. This is a 5-pack of the power cords. Now they do come with power cords. They're 6-foot long power cords, but in order to get them from the ceiling down to the ground to the power, unless you already have power in the ceiling, you're going to need a longer power cord. So I bought 15-foot power cords for the 4 on the ceiling. This was a 5-pack because it was cheaper to buy the 5-pack than it was individual. So that's where I went and I got them on Amazon. Actually, all this stuff here I got on Amazon. So it's up to you where you decide where you want to buy it. So the next thing I have here are the power strips. Now I bought 3 because I wasn't certain if I was going to need 2 or 3. I'm guessing only 2, and the 2 I'm going to need are for the sides because I already have enough power strips for the front speakers. And I did buy 2 of these. These are 10-foot long extension cords, just in case. Most likely these are going to go back. So the next thing I have over there is the 4-pack of 25-foot long XLR cables. And then next to that are the 4-pack 15-foot XLR cables. And then another 4-pack of 6-foot XLR cables. So maybe you already have enough cables to cover everything that's needed. And if you do, good job. I didn't, so here we go. This right here, these are for the speakers on the ceiling. And these are very cool. I got these right here on Amazon. They have the correct, actually you're gonna need you can need this little guy right here. A pack of these dudes too. The adapters. And the adapters are, let me find them here. These are 1/4 inch female to 3/8 male. So you're going to need those in order to hang the IK Multimedia MTM iLouds. And these are really cool because you can put them any direction you want, and then when you find whatever angle you want, you just simply tighten them up and they all lock in. So that's really cool. And I got these as well on Amazon. IK Multimedia, they make their own stands that you guys can for certainly buy. And I do know that if you buy the system through Sweetwater, they actually come with the stands. So that's a bonus. And then lastly, we have right here the 25 dB. These are, you get 8 XLR, and these are male actually. That's what you'll need. And then you actually have this end right here, the pin connector end. This is just a 3-foot one, and you do when you do buy these cords like this, you want to make sure you buy these that are numbered, and you can see how that right there is a number. So each of them are individually numbered, and that's going to be important when you go and hook everything up and you start setting everything up speaker-wise, because you're going to want to know which speaker is going where. So it's very important that you get the 25 dB cords that have the tags on them with the numbers. So right now, this is what I need, and if it changes, I'll update this. But as of right now, I believe I have everything I'm going to need. Hi everyone, I'm back, and I forgot to tell you about an important part of the accessories, which are right here, these mic stands. So IK Multimedia recommends just to buy some standard mic stands to put the speakers on. So that way there you don't have to drill into the walls. You can set these up just on these mic stands. Makes life a lot easier. And then you can also move them around, you know, when you're not using them, out of the way or whatever. And then just replace them back in your spot when you're getting ready to mix. But the one thing you will need is this little fitting right here. I don't know if you can see that. That is a 3/8 female to a 5/8 male. Maybe I have that backwards. Let me see. And I do. I have that backwards. It's a 5/8 female to a 3/8 male adapter. And then this is going to go right here on your mic stand, like so. And then you're going to take either one of these ports where you want to put them. I'm going to go to the flat one right here. That way the speaker's going to stay flat for me. That's what I want. And I'm going to simply just put it right there and screw it on. Anyways, I just wanted to let you guys know that you will need 4 mic stands and then 4 of these adapters as well. And that's it. Hello everybody. Well, today is the official day of starting to install all the speakers for the ATMOS system, immersive system, whatever you want to call it. So my idea to do the speakers up on the ceiling is that I cut a rope. So that way there, when I have my daughter Abigail, who's sitting in my captain's chair, she's going to hold this up to her ear, and then I'm going to spread it out on the ceiling, and then that way I'll have equal lengths going all around for the speakers up top. So in other words, just to give you a demonstration, She puts it against her ear, and then I stretch it out, and then I mark the ceiling, which I already did, and we go around the entire room doing that. And that way there I can go back with a tape measure and then see exactly where, how accurate I am with my spotting of the rope. And right now the only one I had to correct was this one right here in the corner. I had to move it out just about an inch, and that's it. So there you go. That's a good way easy way to get your measurements for your overhead speakers. See ya. All right, today's a big day. I'm gonna install my speakers on my ceiling, but first I gotta clean this up and I gotta cover the stuff so I don't get none of that drywall dust or the dust from the ceiling when I drill into the holes all over my equipment. So here I go, time to clean up. Check this card out that my daughter Addison, who's helping me in here, check that out. She did this for me for my birthday. She drew the Boston spaceship, and then she put my name in instead of Boston. Isn't that cool? All right, so now, drill, baby, drill. Got a vacuum here to try to catch some of the dust.
Ooh, I like this angle. It looks cool.
Wow, that's number 4. That went way smoother than I was anticipating. So something's bad to go wrong. But I should say something's bound to go wrong. But right now, I'm happy. Yes, time to get on to the vacuuming of the room. By the way, that only took a whopping 20 minutes, according to my daughter, to get all those hung up. So I'm super happy. Super. See that smile? That's super happy Andy. I'm going to press on and I'm going to hang up my speakers right now. So here we go. This might be a little shoulder workout. 1. I don't know if you can see that or not. Let me move the camera if you can. There's 1. Now that's not hung up in the exact position I'm going to be, having. I got to angle it still, but I got 1 done. Let's move on to the next. Now, as I said in the other video, there are 2 screw holders, or that you can screw them into. That one there, I believe. Let's see. Yeah. This one here is the one I'll be using for the ceiling. This one here is the one I use for the stands. And as you can tell, it'll keep them flatter on the stands using the one in front. The one in back is more of an angled. I have to say I'm highly impressed by these speaker mounts. I mean, that is cool. All you gotta do is tighten them up and boom, they stay. And I think I think they were a set of 2, and I want to say they're like $14 for the set. Maybe a little cheaper. I mean, that is so cool. All of them are up. And yeah, that took less than a half hour to do all that. So super excited to get on to the next part, which is going to be running the cords through the PVC and then down the walls to the plugins down on the floor. All right, I wanted to show you guys the next phase, and that is hanging a piece of PVC pipe, as you can see. So that way there I have my cords will be kept nice and neat, and I'll run them down the wall. And as you can see, I got this one done as well. So that's the next step. I have these 2 over here to do still. And yep, there you go. All right, I'm all done for the day. Just finished putting up all the cable holders. They are made out of 1-inch PVC. If you can see those. Pin around here. So I thought that was a pretty ingenious thing. You know, looks pretty nice. I painted them so they kind of blend into the ceiling a little bit better. So yeah, one thing I did screw up. I ordered the wrong power cables, so I had to send those back, and I'm receiving the ones, new ones tomorrow. So I'll get up there and plug all the speakers in above and get to the lower ones tomorrow. So see y'all later. Bye. Hi everybody. Welcome to day 3 of me installing an Atmos immersive system here in my 10x10 music studio. And unfortunately, this morning I'm here to let you know that there was an issue with the new power cords that I ordered. Yes, they do fit this time into the speakers, but they won't fit through my PVC channels that I made for the cords. So I'm simply going to just push a tie strap around those holders and then push them to the back side of those holders. That way you can't see them when you first walk into the room. And that's going to be my solution. But I do have another one for you. If you do decide to do something that I'm doing here in this room, you can simply just take it when you cut your PVC to the length you need. You just get a grinder and then cut out a small slit that the cord itself can actually fit in. And then when you go to installing, just put that piece that you cut, put that to the ceiling. Problem solved. I'm going to do that when I move studios here in about 6 to 8 months. That'll be done at that point. So anyways, I'm going to get on to putting all these up here. There we go. That looks pretty damn good to me. Yes. All right, so here's an update to day 3 of me installing the Atmos immersive system here in my 10x10 music studio room. So after I made my mistake ordering the wrong cords, the power cords, I got all that done. So excuse my camera work, but there you go. You can see that. So you can see the zip ties. I have yet to still to cut the remaining stuff off the zip ties. But I do have all the cords ran from the uppers. And then one other modification I did was right here for these 2 speakers. They will be living here underneath the full cows, which are actually great ear height. And what I had to do was use a router saw to get cut the back of that paneling out to run the cables through there. One more thing I forgot to mention is that I did get the speakers angled to where my seating position will be. So I'm happy about that. The two front ones here, those were harder to get than the 2 back ones. So for whatever reason, I had a more difficult time with the ones in front than I did these ones. So I'm looking forward to hearing what this thing can do. Hi everybody, welcome into day 4 of me setting up my Atmos immersive system here in my 10x10 music studio. And I just want to say this has been a lot of fun. Not as difficult as one might think. So if I can do it, I know you all can do it too. So yesterday I spent quite a bit of time adjusting these guys above my head to hit me properly here in the chair. Now I will say I don't have any sound coming out of them, so they probably will need to be readjusted a little bit more when I actually get sound coming out of them. So there is that. But anyways, so day 1 consisted of me opening the boxes. Day 2 was me getting my overhead set up. And day 3 was getting the wires run down walls and everything. And so day 4, I'm going to be doing this. Setting up the interface, which means I get to run all the speaker cables to the DP25 cords, and then get to hook it up to my computer and then into Cubase. That's my DAW of choice. So I'm going to get busy doing that right now. Hi everybody. quick update on day number 4 of hooking up the interface to all the speakers. So I officially have power going to all my speakers, as well as power going into my interface, which is the Apogee Symphony 8x16. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that beautiful? Hell yeah. Now I want to talk about the DB25 cables that you have to get in order to run the system. So those 2 cables will give me a total of 16 outputs. Now I have 11 speakers, so it's my understanding that when I upload the drives to the interface, that there's a program inside there that actually tells you where to dedicate each speaker in regards to the cables, the DB25 cables. So that'd be great, because I was a little worried about that routing thing. So anyway, that's the update got going on. The next one will be, I'll show you how everything is set up in the interface, along with the Cubase, which is my DAW of choice. See ya. Bye. Okay, here we are on day 5, and I want to talk about 2 things today. And the very first one is going to be the speakers and what you get inside the speaker box. So let's open it up. It's like another opening day. So now 10 of the boxes are going to have the exact same thing in them. 1 speaker, and then the goodies in this little white box right here. So what you're going to get in each of these boxes are the following: a power supply cord for the speaker, a USB cord, which I'll talk about in a little bit, and then you're going to get 2 speaker pads or stands, whatever you want to call them. Lastly, you're going to get this little tiny screw right here, which is going to go underneath the speaker, which will help hold it in place on these stands. And that's what you get in 10 of those boxes. In the 11th box, you'll get this right here, which is the ARC calibration microphone. So that way there you can calibrate all your speakers. And what you also will get inside that box is going to be 1 mic cord with the female end here, and a 3.5 millimeter male end on that side. And we'll talk about that in a few seconds. And of course you're going to get also a USB cord as well too. So let's move over to the speaker right now and talk about how you calibrate the speakers. Alright, so as you can see, I have the speaker right here, and I also have my ARC calibration microphone. Now what you're going to do with this microphone is that you're going to get it and place it onto a mic stand as in the area that you do your mixing. And then you're going to simply take this microphone and you're going to point it at each speaker individually as you go around doing your calibration. Now how you get that to work is that you take this little 3.5 millimeter male adapter right here, shove it in there, turn your speaker on. You're going to come up here to where this little button says CLA. You're going to hold it in for about 3 seconds, and it's going to start flashing. After it starts flashing, just make sure you have your microphone pointed in the position you want it to be pointed at. And come back here, hit that one more time, and it's going to send a pulse out to the microphone, and when it's done calibrating, the lights will stop flashing and it'll turn a solid color. And that's it. You move on to your next speaker, repeating the process over and over 11 times. Now there is a second way to do it, and that is using the USB cord. You simply plug this into the back of the speaker, run it over to your laptop, your computer, whatever you're using, and open up the DSP software that you can download from IK Multimedia's website, and you go through there and you calibrate the speakers in that DSP software. It's my understanding it's a little bit more accurate because you can actually go in there and you can move things around. Now on the back of these speakers here, you can also use the EQ system on the back of the speakers if you like. I didn't. I just let the ARC microphone do its thing, and everything sounds great to me. So I'm super happy with this using the ARC microphone. It was way simple. Now I want to move on to the second topic of the day, and that is the Apogee Symphony 8x16 interface. And I want to tell you guys how I got everything routed so I can get sound coming out of my speakers. So let's get over there. All right, so I'm super excited right now to share part 2 with you, because this is going to get that lovely music coming out, all those speakers surrounding you and above you. So first thing is that we're going to head over to Apogee's website. All right, so here we are, and we're on the page that has all the downloads available, and you're going to pick out whatever one you need. In my case, it was the Symphony Studio. So I downloaded those. Now, these are very large files, and it takes a good 40 to 45 minutes, maybe even an hour, to completely download these files. So don't freak out and thinking that something's wrong. It does take a long time for these to download. At least it did on my laptop. So just a little warning there. So after you get everything downloaded, let's head over to the next step. What we got to do here now is that we got to go find the Apogee files. So in my case, I had to come over here to PC area and go right here to program files. Click on that, and right here is Apogee. And then this one right here, this is the very important piece of the puzzle to get everything to function properly. So the Control 2 is the DSP that's going to communicate with whatever DAW you have. So we're going to open that up. And this right here, where it says Apogee Glue, this is going to marry or glue your DAW to the DSP program. All right, so now that you have glued your DAW with the DSP software, let's open up the DSP software. Boom, there it is. Now, if you opened up the DSP software and it's just a blank screen, that just means you need to go back to the icon, double click on it so you can glue the two things together. And I've done this, working with this for a week. I have myself forgot to go and do that, and I just simply went back to the icon, double clicked on it, and everything got glued together. One more quick thing I will tell you to do is make yourself a shortcut for that icon so you don't have to go back through those files and click through all those files again. So that'll be a very helpful step for you. And now if I come down here and scroll to the right, you can see all these speakers lit up in green, and that's telling me two things. One is that the DSP software is actually communicating with my DAW, and then secondly, it's also telling me that I have things routed properly. So when I go into start mixing, you'll actually see the volume coming up on these output indicators. So the next step is going to be very important. Inside your DAW, you're going to have to insert a plugin called Renderer. And in order for the renderer to work inside Cubase anyways, there's two things you need to do. One is that you got to make sure your sample rate is set inside your DAW or Cubase at 48 kilohertz and 512 buffer size. And then you need to come over here to this software and make that the same rate. So when you first open up the Apogee DSP software, it's going to open up to 96 kilohertz and 1052 buffer size. So we simply click on this, hit it to 48, click on this, put it to 512, and now you're going to have the same settings on both your DAW and the DSP software in order for it to communicate properly, so you can start mixing properly inside your ATMOS system. Now, with that said, that should do it. You all should be up running right now and jumping in there, loading them some tracks, and start mixing in ATMOS. Get all those 11 speakers bouncing around you. It's going to be so much fun. You're going to be blown away by how these speakers sound. My family, I brought them in to have a listen a few times, and it's just fun to watch their reactions when you have something behind show up behind you and they whoa, that's pretty cool. So yeah, it's a blast. And one more thing I want to say thank you so much to Apogee and IK Multimedia's customer representatives. I had two gentlemen I work with, George with Apogee, Ryan with IK Multimedia. They both took their sweet time with me to explain everything, to where I had a grasping and an understanding on everything, to where I can get to get the music to come out of my speakers, and to give you the ability to show you what you need to do. So I can't say thank you enough to those two gentlemen. I've had a fun time doing this. This opened up a whole new world to me. I'm sure most of you will get this done a lot faster than I did, but I'd never done this before, so I took my time to get things accurate as I could. And in my little 10 by 10 room, I'm blown away as to how good everything sounds in here. And this is going to be so much fun in the future, mixing in Atmos. And I hope you all have enjoyed this little video vlog that I did, getting everything set up. And with that said, y'all take care. See ya. Bye.